Gotta fill this up. Be right back. It takes 2 of these. It's a lot better, right? So it's getting a lot warmer, and I've been using a lot of fans on my aquariums, and in about 3 to 4 days I'll lose about this much amount of water, and I definitely have to top that off every single time I see it or notice, just because I don't want my sump to go dry and then it'll ruin my equipment and I'll basically have to start over again. But that's what I have to do because I'm trying to keep my aquariums in my garage from overheating. So just a quick note, fans and aquarium means evaporation. So 3 weeks ago I made a DIY betta enclosure that I keep on top of my aquariums. I've been keeping bettas like this for a really long time, and in that video I show you how I made the one I have on my aquarium right now, and I've been keeping a female betta in there ever since. But I do want to keep some DIY projects going, so I am considering giving my betta away to my coworker. One of my coworkers at the office has a male betta in her cubicle. It's a half moon, same color as this one right here. What's funny is the betta that she has is actually a really, really nice one. Man, I like this betta. This betta likes me too. Yep, I've decided to give this betta away, and I'm going to start a new project with this container right here. So being that this container is pretty small, the only fish that I would put in here is other bettas, right? Can't really put tetras because tetras like to swim pretty crazily. I could put guppies in this container, but I was thinking that the offspring that do spawn in the little container would either get sucked up by the bulkhead and pretty much get destroyed in the K1, or get eaten by my fish that's underneath them. So that's kind of out of the question. For right now, I'm just going to clear this box, take the betta out, get her ready to transport, and until then we'll just figure out what we're going to do with this container. And right now we're just going to wait until tomorrow morning. I'm going to scoop up this fish and bring her to the office so I can give her to my coworker, and we'll cut it till then. Okay, so you may know from the title that today we got a new fish for the predator tank with the Pyra. Getting a tank mate for this fish is very difficult. Pyra completely dislikes silver fish, and my original plan was to get an Ode pike and put it in with the Pyra, but that plan is definitely out the window now. I don't want to get any fish that can possibly get destroyed by my Pyra, but I also have to think about any kind of fish that could harm my Pyra. So I'm happy to say that I got a new fish for this tank, but it is not a new fish to me. So if you were following my channel from the beginning, you would have noticed this fish in my first setup, which was the 55-gallon long. I've had this fish for quite some time. I ended up giving it to my buddy, and then he ended up giving it to my other buddy, and then I found my way to get it back. And this is one of my favorite fish, and the reason why I never officially got rid of him is because of how rare this fish is. You don't really see this fish around too often, and when you do, they are pretty much sold out every time, and they're super expensive, and they're super hard to find. So in this tank I added my old Erie back. One of the main reasons why I didn't add him in any sooner is because when I had my Pyra, it was pretty small. It was new, and it wasn't as aggressive as it was right now. So now that the Pyra is getting more comfortable, I'm able to add more savage-like fish. This wolf has been through hell and back, but the worst sickness he's been through was dropsy. Dropsy is an illness where it's very hard for a fish to recover from. It's when the scales of the fish, they kind of protrude out like a pine cone. It looked really, really nasty. And the only sickness that this fish never really got over was with the white eyes. I believe he developed that from rubbing his face against the walls and the decor in the tank. But again, I soon realized that that might have been from poor water quality. I think I was only running sponge filters and maybe a canister or something. But this is the reason why I added him into this tank, in the hopes that his eyes will heal over time. I'm not too sure. I have a bunch of friends that say it's cataracts, but nevertheless his eyes are still white. The fish is not blind though, don't get me wrong. He can still see and he can still eat perfectly fine. It just kind of has like little white stuff on his eyes. I'm hoping that the water quality in this aquarium will help him heal slowly, I was planning on upping my water changes from once a week to maybe about twice a week, every other week. I have high hopes for this fish. I plan on keeping this water quality as pristine as possible. So hopefully he'll be able to heal in this tank. But as for right now, he's chilling. I had him in the tank for about maybe 2 or 3 hours. And I'm going to start feeding him later tonight. I have no doubts that this Erie will be good in this tank. I've seen him hold his ground many times, so I'm not really worried about it. So yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for updates on the garage tank, and I'm planning on doing an update on all my fish tanks soon. Hopefully I'll be able to make a new video on the fish inside the house instead of super focusing on the ones in the garage. And my next video might be about my giant gourami, so stay tuned for the next one, and peace guys.